Today it's all about the listening part of the IELTS exam. We have Rekha ma'am here with us, and she is going to give all of the necessary tips.
All right, good evening, members. The very first thing that you are expected to do is, as soon as you enter the examination hall to give your IELTS exam, this is going to be the first module that you're going to be answering. So, it is important that you follow certain instructions. Let me stress another thing, or the most important thing is, listening is one of the scoring sections. It is very easy for you to score that 9 band. Okay, bottom line, we're all human beings. If not band 9, at least a band 8.5 is something which is possible, achievable too. Now, let us learn some of the tips in the same direction. First thing that we request our trainees to do as soon as you start your listening test is to read the set of instructions carefully. Majority of the trainees, my trainees too that I have come across is, they make mistakes when they're trying to answer those set of questions without reading the instructions. They don't adhere to the number of restrictions or word count. Like, let me give you an example before we progress. Now, the first one. When I say, or when the instruction clearly says, please write the right letter in the space provided or in the blank provided. That's what the instructions would be. Now, what month of the year does the speaker prefer? He talks about something and there is this reference as well. So I have 4 different months. Now, what do I need to write in the answer option? Let's say July is the answer. So do I need to write July, the answer word, or just C, the letter? Most of the time we have this confusions. We do miss out on this. When the instruction says letter, please write the right letter. That is option, whether it is A, B, C or D, only in the blank provided. And if it says a word, you will have instructions stating the word count, like whether it is 1 word, 2 words, 3. That is going to be the maximum. And then you also have another instruction which says a number sometimes. When we are especially writing a number, make sure that whatever currency that they are talking about, whether the symbol is already mentioned by end of the question statement. Majority of the times, those symbols, it might be rupees, it might be dollars, euros, whatever, please check if it is already mentioned. If it is already mentioned, all you need to do is just write the number alone in the blank. Do not have another symbol inserted or written. Coming back to this, the right letter, please remember letter and a word difference. Please adhere to it. That is the very first point majority of us go wrong on. Okay? Now, what if I write the other way around? What if it says a letter and I write the word July in it? Though my answer word is right, it is going to be an error. That is considered to be an incorrect answer word. Alright, please do not do that mistake. This is the very first tip. And the second tip is, majority of the trainees have this common concern where they say, the level of difficulty increases as I proceed. Part 1 and part 2 are relatively easier. However, part 3 and part 4 is where I may face major concerns. Now, why is that? Why is this particular, the last 2 parts considered to be tougher? Because we will have similar words being used. Let me give you an example for this similar word, or we will have similar phrases that the speaker uses. Speaker might talk about a particular product and he's talking about the pricing and he uses the word expensive. Oh my God, this product is so expensive. And when I come to the question statement, I don't see the word expensive at all. I have this word called far from cheap. It gives me the same meaning if you observe. However, I will have two different phrases or words. One which the speaker uses, another is the question statement altogether. So it is important for you to understand what the question is trying to convey. You need to understand the meaning even before you try and answer the questions. Let us not just blindly look out, oh, I don't find the word expensive, now what do I do? No, you don't have to panic. Read the question, understand and remember. You will be given time initially to read the questions for sure. So whatever, 4 questions or 5 questions, quickly read that and wait for it. The minute you get to listen. So that's the reason we keep stressing, and there is a lot of vocabulary links as well that we share on groups. Why? Because your vocabulary needs to be really wider for you to nail these types of questions. You will of course and for sure receive, or you will encounter these question statements where they're going to be using similar ones. Now, when I say that is all about similar, all right, please make sure we have good number of words handy. Okay, when I say this particular image, shows details about, here we have gives information about. So similar again. So make sure you are going to be having all these words handy. If you people have heard of this paraphrase, bottom line, they are going to be giving us a different word choice. They're going to be giving us a different sentence structure altogether. Bottom line, it is going to convey the same meaning. Now, why is this important? Especially when it comes to listening, because you cannot listen to the audio file again. It is important that we understand this paraphrasing. Majority of the questions when it comes to part 4, especially whatever the customer or the speaker has used, you will have the summarized version of questions. You will not have the exact question statements or exact words what the speaker uses. You might have observed that. So it is difficult for you to answer these questions later. That is part 4. He might have spoken about one of the marketing techniques. Talking about probably, internet or some billboards. So these are the words that he might use talking about marketing techniques. But when it comes to the question statements, you will have methods, means or modes of advertisement. Now, advertisement and the marketing techniques when they are launching the new product or the service is the same altogether. If we do not understand what is the summary or the gist of what the speaker is trying to say, we will not be able to answer the questions. We'll be talking about the paraphrasing part as well. So it is not just one single word, they will have, a similar word to it. The entire summary will be, paraphrased now. It is important that we understand the gist. So a lot of practice is required. We will have to understand this technique. And apart from that, if at all, I'm sure every one of us have encountered this. When it comes to part 1, part 2, and 3 as well, we will have like probably 4 questions or 5 or 6 questions that we need to read, understand, and wait for the audio to start off, even before we answer these set of questions. However, when it comes to part 4, we will have one shot 10 questions that you need to answer. Ideally speaking, let me tell you, it is difficult, rather tough for us to, read all the 10 questions at once, and this will be paraphrased for us, and to remember all these question statements. During the training process, I request my trainees to actually take this relaxation. You could start listening to first 5 questions only. This is during your practice session until you get the hang of it. Probably the first 3 tests only. Let me stress again. The first to 3 tests only you will have this type of a relaxation during your training session. Alright, you could listen to the first to 5 questions only. Then please pause the audio, come back, read the next 5 set of questions that you have, try and answer those questions. So in two, that is in a ratio of 5:5, you answered all the 10 questions. Now, why am I giving this relaxation? Because bottom line, when you are learning to answer all the questions when it comes to listening, it is important that we concentrate on the accuracy part. Accuracy means whatever number of answers that you answer, those needs to be right or correct rather. It is not your speed, it is not how many tests you can take in that little span of time. No, we need to work on accuracy. Okay, next test, what do? 5-5 ratio is done. Do I continue to do the same? Please don't. You could increase the number of questions slowly, like increase it to 6:4, or if you feel my grasping speed is really great, I think I can increase it to 7:3. Please go ahead. So probably by end of the third or the fourth test, probably you will have the hang of answering all the 10 questions one shot. Try this from today. That will for sure fetch you results. Of course, with time and practice. So this is the second point I was supposed to give. Apart from instructions that we are supposed to follow, there is something called as deviators. Now, what are these deviators? A lot of time, what we do is, there is this question, that these two students are actually having a conversation where they decide to meet at the college campus at whatever time, or probably yes. So we just started with deviators. Now there are a lot of times that we come across these deviators. Now what are these? There is a blank, there is a question that says, this person who is trying to book a hotel room for himself, with his family members, probably 4 members, and he's talking about the pricing as to what is the total amount. They give him an approximate amount of $350 initially. So there is a question as to how much this particular speaker is actually paying for that particular hotel. So we immediately go ahead and write $350, and then we move on to the next question, waiting for that particular answer words. And then we realize that after 2 or 3, after a couple of sentences, we have the speaker or the representative who says, because you are a valued customer, we would like to or wish to give you a discount, and you will have to just pay us like $310. So this is called as deviator, wherein I will have to go back to that question that I answered with 350. I will have to erase it, take that off, and replace with 310, which is a final answer. That is what I have typed in as well. Means we need to really pay attention. I have answered that question already, so probably I don't need to bother. No. We will have to check. We will have to concentrate. Oh my God, there was a question related to this. Now the price is reduced. So I should go back and correct this. So initial answer could be something else, whereas the final answer or the right answer is going to be a different number. It could be a number, it could be a word, anything for that matter. But please make sure you go back and correct it. Not word, actually, it is going to be most or majority of the time it is going to be numbers. Probably it might be time, it might be related to pricing, or number of days the course is for. Initially, they settle for a 10-day course, and then probably there are more number of students. Due to requirement, they extend the course for 14 days, 2 weeks now. So like that, you will have numbers, especially as deviators. So please do concentrate. Now, these are the 3 tips, and please adhere to all of these. Let me tell you, after you do so, you will find noticeable changes in terms of numbers. I've had trainees who started with 19 first test, and that was like not even 25 plus mark. And let me tell you, today they stand at 37. Irrespective of the level of difficulty, they are able to achieve those scores. And you all will also be able to. So please follow these, parameters and ask me questions, if any.
Okay,
Any
Rekha ma'am,
questions
I
regarding the
have one
IELTS?
question on behalf of my students. Most of the students asked me several times how they can improve their reading skills. Like in
We
part
will
3,
have.
you were talking about part 1, part 2, and
Yes.
part 3. In part 3, they have longer questions, long type of questions. They were not able to even complete more than 3 to 4 questions. So how they can read these 10 out
Well,
of 10 within given time frame?
no, we were talking about the division of questions. At least during the
Yes.
training process, if you could do that, eventually you can speed it up. Okay, probably today 5, tomorrow 6. We will take the time to relax and get the hold of it. And let me tell you, so after probably 4 or 5 tests down the lane, that's the maximum number again, considering a slow or a very slow grasper, so they will be able to achieve.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
yes, Rafa.
I want to ask one question related to maps and diagrams. I want to ask that how I can find the right answer, because whenever I do practice at home with diagram related questions or maps, I didn't get the right point.
When it comes to map labeling, plan labeling questions, dear, it is important that you understand the preposition of direction. This is that bit of grammar which is going to help you understand where the speaker is going to give us, certain locations, landmarks using it. Like, now, let me ask you this. Now, where is the nearest supermarket from your house? You start directing me. Turn right, turn left. You need to go past the supermarkets. We need to know these terminologies. Past the supermarket. Now, what is past? Across, through, beside, behind. If I understand and grasp this landmarks here and this directions, it is easier for us to nail this type of question.
Okay. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome, dear.
And one more thing, one more tip related to the same question is that
Yes.
at the end of first answer, he will or she will start from the beginning. Beginning like entrance point,
Okay.
and move your pencil or cursor with that speaking. Listen to him or her carefully and move your cursor with that.
Okay.
Like he will start from the main point, from
Yes.
entrance gate, turn left, turn right, then across that, very left to your or right to that, something like that. Okay, focus on it.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I'll try my best.
Okay. Any other member,
All the
please?
best, dear.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you where you said the ratios, the 6:4, 7:5 on part 4 of listening. I didn't actually get what you were trying to
Yes, dear.
say.
Okay, when it comes to other parts of listening, all right, we have an access wherein we only listen to 4 questions, 5, or maximum 6. But when it comes to the part 4 of listening, we have an exposure to 10 questions at a given point of time. It is not easy for us to read all the 10 questions, remember, and then answer. That's the reason we thought we will give this relaxation during the training period so that you get used to answering them all in one shot. For first 3 or 4 tests, it depends on your grasping speed, on your level of understanding, for that matter.
Okay, could I add something, ma'am, for them?
Yes,
to make
please.
it more easy. Okay, the human psychology is saying that the human mind, if they are listening or learning something new that is not related to their routine methods, their mind will stuck up at some point, like 5, 10 to 15. After 5, 10 to 15 minutes, it start pretending you that no, don't do that, this is not for you. Okay, something like that. You will get bored. So this is the technique which ma'am was talking about, is to cope up with that sort of situations. Try to listen. First listen the things like first 4 questions, attempt, then pause, then again refresh your mind, and then listen again for question on daily basis, or after 2 to 3 days you can add few more questions in it. Then you will get the speed of the speaker and idea how to attempt all these questions at once. Okay, that will improve a lot by using this technique.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, we have Maggie. Maggie wants to ask a question. Maggie, are you here with us? Maggie?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. My problem is with the multiple choice. By the time I realized you've mentioned every aspect of it, and I find it difficult to locate the right answer. Thank you.
All right, dear. I shall explain that. Let me share screen. And multiple choice questions are those questions which are quite common and turned to be that most complex as well. Now, how do I tackle? Now, I have some of, one of the speaker who says, I prefer this, I want this, but all the three answer options would have been, touched. Means he or she might start speaking about all the available options. Now, it is very difficult for me to differentiate and understand what is the right answer. First thing is, I need to check whether I have some keywords. Keywords like whether I have some contributing words too. Like, if at all there are words like in addition to this, furthermore, these are called as contributing words. What is contributing words? These are going to add on to the already existing idea. Like, this speaker might be talking about one of the museums, and he might be talking about the art collection there, who's painting and all. So he's giving us details as furthermore, in addition to these painters, we still have these many to add on. These are the words he might give us to add on to that existing idea of his. There are some more, words like contrasting, dear. Contrasting means opposite idea altogether. Like, they might use words like however, but, where there is a change in the direction of the sentence, dear. You should understand. This is very important. These might distract us. Initially, the speaker might say, I'm really fine and healthy. However, I have this, ailment. I suffer from this ailment. Today, I'm fine and healthy. So what we tend to do is, okay, fine and healthy is the one that catches our attention. We should actually concentrate on the other part of it, which says, however, I suffer from these ailments. Please concentrate on these contributing words, contrasting words, and also check for negative words, like whether he or she uses the word never, no in the sentence. So you will have to pay attention and then try and answer those questions, multiple choice especially. And there is another process where you could elimination process. If you feel this is not the right answer for sure, please eliminate that so that your available answer options will get narrowed down. So it's easier. We can have one complete session dedicated for real-time MCQs. We will have some questions and we will try and solve it on call as well. We will do that as well. This is a very part of explanation.
Could I add
yes,
something
please,
in this portion? And the thing is that if you are reading the question carefully and considering all the 4 answers and choices which are given against this question, okay, then you can easily eliminate 1 or 2 from them, okay, in the very beginning without any single listening, because of tenses. If you really know about the tenses or to play with them, then you can eliminate at least minimum 1 or 2 statements. Then you will have to fight for the only 2 options, which you can easily understand what they are talking about, and try to understand 100%, try to get clear meaning of the statement which is written in the question. Then you will also be able to place the correct answer over there. Sometimes you place the word from past tense, but the tense required answer from present tense. Most of the students did the same mistake. This is the technique which one of my teacher told me when I was preparing for my IELTS, and I was also struggling in this type of questions, in these type of questions. So I work on it, and I almost get, you can say, Alhamdulillah, I have 9 bands in listening.
Could we share one last tip, if that's okay, quickly? When we are trying to answer, especially when you are trying to give your IELTS exam, there are 2 different formats, that is paper-based and computer-based. If at all you opt for a paper-based, all right, when it comes to the listening and the reading part, please make sure you use a pencil to answer, and answer the same in block letters only. This is done for the legibility purpose. Now, when I have this word called, coach, I'm just giving you an example. So it needs to be really legible. Do not use any cursive writing. You are expected to write the same this way, that is C and H. Yes, if at all examiner get us the wrong answer word. So let's make sure paper-based only this is. Computer-based, that will not make a difference though. So use a pencil and write answers in block letters. And this info is given on all the official websites as well. Exam developers, IDP, British Council or Cambridge Assessment.